This video is brought to you by Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post is a monthly subscription box for guys who give a damn. Each box is packed with high-quality gear and useful advice to help step up your life. The contents of each box ranges from tools and drinks to gear for style and travel. Like this carry box, which includes a line of trade, slim, minimalist leather wallet, and 2 pieces of classic everyday carry gear, a Fisher Spacepen bullet in brass, and the Gerber Shard pry tool. When you sign up, you'll take a quiz that helps teach Bespoke your interests, and at the beginning of each month, you'll get to see what's in your box before it ships. If you don't like it, you can choose from other boxes available, skip that month, or return or exchange it hassle-free. And you can even add on other items from their store to ship with your box. For members, each box will cost $45 with free shipping, $55 for non-members, and has a total value of at least $70, often much more. If you want to see what it's all about, join the club using the link in the description and use coupon code BEST20 to get 20% off your first box. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Taylor Martin. This is the Best Damn EDC, and it's time for another EDC Weekly. And if you're new here, this is a community show, which means that I have some community announcements. Just right off the bat, I'll try to make it quick. First up, earlier this week, I did a video with my buddy Rick about removing patina from brass and copper pins. It really works for any brass and copper. We were doing it on these pins, which are the Big Idea Design pins, which now come in copper and brass. And this right here specifically is the Pete's Pirate Life version of the Pocket Pro in brass. So if you want any of these pins, the Pocket Pro from Pete's Pirate Life is actually only available for pre-order today. Today is the last day. So if you want that, you got to get that today, but also the Kickstarter ends early next week for the rest of the Big Idea Design pins. So just wanted to throw that out there if you were interested in any of these. Next up, next week will be the conclusion of the $50 budget knife video. I wanted to do it this week, but just didn't work out. Next week, I'll be giving my final thoughts on all of those budget knives that I was carrying in the month of September. And then finally, next week will also be a gear drop, a small gear drop over on Carry Commission. So the Lil Nuke beads are back in all of these different configurations. I'll be throwing these up. I've got them in different quantities. So if you are interested in a Little Nuke, we've got them in brass. It looks like a tumbled titanium, a steel, and a few different materials. Micarta is also in there. So if you want to see when these drop and what are available, just follow Carry Commission over on Instagram. The other thing I'm dropping is the second version of the utility blades. These are lasered. This is the topo pattern from the first drop. Here's another one. This is another one of my favorites. This is what I called the Shard. So if you are interested in these utility blades, they will also be dropping next week. And that's all for announcements. This week's episode there's no real theme. I just went through and picked some. Some of these are actually from September. I think one of them may actually be from August, and then some others are from October. So because I've not been doing this show every single week, things are a little out of order, but I will be bringing the show back in full swing on a weekly basis fairly soon. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Once I get all of this stuff sorted out, the show will be back weekly, and I'm excited for that. I've got some changes I want to introduce and show you. I'm excited for what's next for the show. I can't tell you everything just yet, but you'll see in due time, and I think you're going to like it. But also, if you want to know more about that and what's changing, what's going on, I highly encourage you to go join the Discord. It's linked down below, but I hang out in there a lot, and I tend to give some more insider information, if you will. Join the Discord if you're interested in any of that. But with all of that said, let's do the damn thing. All right, first up this week, the first submission comes from Tanner Sheltry, and this carry is a mostly grayish blackout carry, but he also dyed some blue, got a little accent in there. But on the top right of the photo is the Civivi Plethoros, and he has navy blue dyed the scales. Below that is the Magpul DACA bifold wallet, and below that is his phone of choice, the Apple iPhone 8 Plus, which he carries in a Magpul filled case. To the center of the photo is the Streamlight MicroStream, which is his flashlight of choice, and beneath that is the Zebra F-701 pin, which he refinished. He also has the Hubs Hanks 10x10 handkerchief in the top left, and below that is his field book, which he said he thought he was buying a Field Notes notebook, but he got this instead. And that's something to take note of. If you are buying Field Notes notebooks on Amazon, when you search Field Notes, what comes up is Field Books. Don't know what to make of it, but that's just the way it is. Anyway, Tanner says, the Plethros is a new addition and is an amazing knife for the price. It carries like a small knife, but has just as much blade as my usual Griptilians. And that's really all he has to say here. I will say that I'm actually happy to see a very plain handkerchief. I think this one is microfiber on the inside, which is also a nice addition, because while I like the handkerchief that I carry when I'm cleaning off a lens or if I'm cleaning off my sunglasses or whatever, this is just a cotton material on both sides and it really just smears rather than wiping off. So definitely looking into a microfiber, or this one is a little too big for my personal preference for carrying in my pocket. The North by North handkerchief is really nice. It's just really large. So it being fall and hopefully at some point getting cooler, I imagine I will probably carry this one a little more, but for now it's a little big for my jean pockets. This one is, I think, a little more versatile, a lot more versatile than most handkerchiefs, but it's massive. Anyway, I just have to say this, some of these Civivi and We Knife designs just really are not my thing, and this is one of those. It's like, Kaiser also has some knives like this, like the Megatherium and Minitherium. I'm not a fan of those designs. They just don't look very ergonomic to me, and I guess it was Zach from Blade HQ was talking about, it was another Isham design, how everybody said it doesn't look like it's ergonomic and feel good in the hand, and he said it's great. But I can't get on board with it. I love the blade shape, but the handle, that humpback whale, if you will, is just, I can't do it. I can't do it. The rest of this stuff here is really, really great. I'm not knocking your knife, by the way. I'm just saying it just doesn't do it for me. But either way, thank you for sharing. And I really don't know the status of the giveaway right now. I'm probably just going to lump one massive giveaway together, and I'm going to take some time and piece together something really cool. Just know that if you've submitted to the EDC Weekly since probably September, you're going to be entered to give away. You can continue to enter, but you're only going to get one entry unless you're featured here on a video or on Instagram. Next up, we have a submission from Austin Wiley. You can find him over on Instagram at Lone Wolf EDC, and this is obviously a copper and leather carry. Well, let's just get right into it. First up to the left of the photo is his knife of choice. That is the Spyderco Delica, and beneath that is the copper key bar. To the right of that is a DIY leather organizer, and inside that he carries a Victorinox Pioneer Champagne 2019 edition, as well as a Maritac TPF flashlight in copper. Above that is a brass pry tool that he made himself with a Lynch Northwest clip on it, and then above that is his wallet, the Miscellaneous Goods or Misc Goods wallet in black leather. To the right of that is the Gil-Tek ruck in copper, and then beneath that is the Write in the Rain notebook. Beside all of that, you have a Bic lighter, which is inside a Bic leather cover that he made himself, and then below that is a mechanical pencil from Rotring, still don't know how to pronounce it, and then finally to the far right of the photo is the Timex Expedition Field chronograph. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is attached to the copper key bar is a tactical keychains quick release. Anyway, Austin says, I recently started making some of my own leather goods, and having an organizer has helped a lot to keep things from getting scratched up in my pockets. My EDC is always changing, but I've been really happy with this setup. I just got the ruck and already use it a lot, and instead of carrying two knives, I just carry one and the ruck instead. I made the pry tool myself and also sell them, and always find myself using a lot at work. Thanks, Taylor. I like that design. It's got kind of the Brassworks BW pry bar design, but those, I guess, that'd be horizontal or vertical lines. The milling lines look really neat, and I like the addition of the Lynch clip. Of course, I'm always going to love a deep carry clip on a pry bar. This right here, great carry. Happy to see more people getting into making their own stuff. I love seeing people make their own leather goods and a pry bar. Kudos to you. This stuff looks good. Your stitching looks pretty clean. I say you're doing pretty good, man. Keep it up. But thank you for submitting, and you now have a second entry into the whatever giveaway that I've yet to figure out. Next up, we have a submission from Vincent Minnucci. You can find him over on Instagram at Vincent Minnucci, and this one I picked because, well, mainly the knife. I also forgot. I knew there was a reason that I put this in my bag. It's because there was one of these in the show today, so we'll come back to that. Hopefully he has some some comments on the handkerchief as well. Anyway, first up, the center of the photo is the knife of choice, the Monterey Bay Knives, or MBK Knives EZC, which is designed by Ray Laconico. Beside that is also a spry bar from CJ Glass and Heart Designs and some titanium tweezers. That is sitting on top of a North by North handkerchief. Below all of that stuff in the bottom of the photo is his Fossil FS4487 watch. And then in the top of the photo, you have his flashlight of choice, which is the Olight S30R Baton 3. And he also has a big Idea Design TI Pocket Pro, as well as a log and jotter notebook. Finally, right beside the flashlight is the key bar in titanium. Vincent says, the EZC from Ray Laconico is a truly amazing knife. Fantastic design with full titanium components and S35 VM blade steel. Excellent action as a flipper right out of the box, and it falls in line with high-end for mid-range pricing being $180. I don't know that $180 is mid-range. I'd say mid-range would be like $60 to $100, but what do I know? I feel like it's largely overlooked in the EDC community. It's so rarely found and carries on Instagram, and it really deserves a spotlight as both an excellent EDC knife and a true gentleman's knife in its slim design. I wear a large or extra large glove and it fits well in the hand with its good ergos, even for that slim executive style. The only downside for me would be the titanium pocket clip, but it's equal to any other non-deep carry titanium clip of its style. It looks like a very thin milled clip. As is the case with nearly every piece of EDC I own, this carry comes almost entirely from discovery through your amazing work, Taylor. The most recent being the North by North Hank, that is amazing, and the spry bar, which I've fallen in love with. Cheers, mate, and keep up the great work. Well, thank you for supporting these smaller makers like North by North and CJ. He's got more designs coming out, and if you want the spry bar on carry commission, maybe with a bronze anodizing stone-washed finish, maybe, just let me know in the comments down below. I definitely need to do some more drops on carry commission, and the spry bar was a hit the first time, so why not do it again, right? I have most of these things, and I swear by all of them. So really cool carry. Thank you for submitting, and you now have a second entry into the yet to be determined giveaway. Next up, we have a submission from Benjamin Pingleton. You can find him over on Instagram at jammin_101_wolf. And boy, this one is a heavy hitter, you might say. First up, in the bottom of the photo in the center is his flashlight, which is the Boss 70 Frosted Titanium flashlight. On that, he has a Still Flame Silver Warrior clip. Next to that is his pry bar of choice, that is the Raptor Bird of Pry, and attached to that is a Berlin TI Works Timascus Beadbomb Volume 4. The pin next to that is a Philholter fluted tie bolt, and on that is an Adam Purvis Black Timascus clip, and right beside that is his knife of choice, which is the Spyderco Paysan, which is a regrind and a tint fixed by MS Custom Knives on Instagram. Of course, on that as well is an Adam Purvis Timascus clip. And of course, to the left of the photo is his watch of choice, that is the Lum-Tec Combat B, the non-chronograph version, and on that is the Diabolic Straps baseball glove strap. And the top of the photo is the Northwoods Fremont Jack in green micarta, and then underneath everything is the Hanks by Hank Murky Waters handkerchief. His wallet is a Georgia Brown Pickers wallet, and then inside that is a David Maxim Michich Jim Dunlop Tortex pick. Wow. I don't know what all that means. And then finally, one of the things on the bottom of the photo I missed in the first round is Musk and Hustle, and in the top right of the photo is a leather travel journal. A lot of stuff to unpack here. Benjamin says, recent acquirements would be the Berlin Tie Works Titan Timascus bead with 3 tritium vials that I used to add some flair to the Bird of Pry, and the reground Spyderco Paysan with an A. Purvis Dark Timascus clip. The regrind into tint fix works wonders for the Paysan. I probably wouldn't own the knife if it not for those, but having those makes it one of my favorite knives to carry lately. The hatchet is also fairly new, so he did mention a few other things that I did not include because I wouldn't think they're EDC items, like the Woodford Reserve and the Martin guitar. He says the hatchet is also fairly new. I haven't had too much time with it lately to put this thing to work in the woods, but from what I've been told, they make some of the best hatchets around. I went back to an old wallet of mine. The Dango was just a little too bulky for me, and there wasn't a good way to carry a guitar pick. I got the Martin while I was in high school, and so I've had it for 11 years now, and it still sounds just as amazing as the day I bought it. And as far as bourbon goes, I keep telling myself I'm going to buy something different, but I just can't get away from Woodford Double Oak. This is my 5th bottle now, and I've toured their facility twice. It's truly a magical place. Well, if you're looking for a great bourbon, I don't have any recommendations, but if you want Scotch, maybe you should try some Lagavulin. Also, if you are looking for bourbon, I would say check out my buddy's channel, Jeremy Sires. He does talk about whiskey and cigars quite a bit. I am not a connoisseur. I just enjoy it. I'm just a hobbyist, and I like the whiskeys, but I just drink it and I know I like it, and that's all I need to know. Anyway, some really great stuff here. So you guys have asked several times what my grail is, and several times I've said the Nirvana would be one. The Paysan is right there with it. It's another Ricenti design knife, and I really like the blade shape on this. I don't know what the regrind was exactly, but if you could tell me more about that, maybe in the comments down below. I'd like to know more about what you had done to the knife, because I love the design of the Payson. I can't get the name right. It doesn't feel right saying it. I love the design, but I also don't want to drop $400 or $500 on a knife. And I'm happy. I said this before. I'm happy. I'm happy with my collection. Look at this. I did this week as well. I was over at Rick's and I was about to leave, and I was like, you know what? I think it's time to customize the Sebenza. So this was my first personal knife customization that I did pretty much on my own. Rick torched the hardware because I was running out of time and he had to leave. But this was my first knife mod. What do you guys think? Pretty typical of me, right? Anyway, thank you for sharing. You now have a second entry into the giveaway, whatever it is. And then finally, the last submission this week comes from Lucas Hipkins. And I chose this one because there is obviously some gear that we don't talk about a lot here on the channel, but from a maker who I've kept my eyes on for quite some time. First up in the top left of the photo is the Kershaw 1760 DAM. That is a Damascus Skyline. On that, he has titanium scales and a Blades for Cell titanium deep carry clip. Below that is his wallet of choice, which is the leather slim wallet from Kohi Point. And then he also keeps his money, his cash, in a clip. It is a mini Viper titanium money clip. Beside that is the Kohi Point leather notebook cover. Inside that, he has a Field Notes notebook, and he uses the Magnus X tie-click pin. To the top right of the photo is the Magnus X titanium candy can, and then underneath that is his keys, or a single key it looks like. He has all of that attached with a hand-grade Knox titanium split ring and Magnus X hookup clips. He has the Magnus X tie-cut utility blade and the Big Idea Design pocket bit. And then finally in the center of the photo is his camera, which is the Sony RX100, which is a fantastic camera. I'm actually in the market to get another RX100. The Mark 7, I guess it is, because I need something with a flip out screen, and none of my cameras have flip out screens, and I'm tired of using this monitor for vlogs. Anyway, Lucas says, I have a lot more gear from Magnus X, formerly Cogent Industries. He has more pins, knives, tweezers, fidget spinners, etc. His stuff is just amazing, and I would love to give him a shout out. Currently has a pre-order up for a flipper knife, but the price is quite high, and I don't currently have the funds to pre-order it. As you can tell, titanium and leather is my jam. I'm always looking for more titanium products. Here. Yeah, Magnus X, or formerly Cogent Industries, he does a lot of stuff. He does like little runs of different gear, but he does a lot of stuff, and he has some pretty interesting designs. Followed his stuff for a while, but I've never purchased anything. Really great little outfit he's got going, and be interesting to talk with him sometime just about some of this stuff. So maybe I could do like a Skype interview with him sometime and talk about this stuff if you'd be interested. Maybe that's something I should just do in general. I don't know. Either way, thank you for sharing. You now have a second entry into the giveaway. Okay, so I want to do something just a little bit different here and answer just a couple of questions. I asked for some questions over on Instagram the other day, and I think this is just a segment I'm going to add to the end of the EDC Weekly just to mix things up a little bit. So the first question comes from Raven the Pirate. He said, is there anything you want anno bronze? No, well, it has to be titanium, but no, clearly not. Here's one from Sharp Things. What knife did or do you like that is embarrassing to show people? My first knife that really kind of started this whole EDC thing back in the day. I was really excited about the Gerber, I guess a Gerber 06 fast assisted open. It's like the budget version of the 06 Auto, and it was serrated Tanto, and I still own it, and I'm not proud of it. Best knife for lefties. Any knife can work for a lefty. This is a large Sebenza, right-handed, and you can use a little, it's not really a front flipper, but you've got enough to grip and open it here. I did not do that very gracefully. You can do it pretty fluid if you practice a little bit, and I can still close the frame lock, but you can also spidey flick it. It takes a little practicing with this. I can spidey flick other knives better than the Sebenza, but any left-handed knife, any knife can be a left-handed knife. What do you think about the Chavez knives? It's my grail. If you're talking about the Ultramar, the Rendencion, it's amazing. What's your favorite large or small Sebenza? The small is just a little too small for my liking. The small does fit in a lot of organizers, which makes it nice, but the large is easily one of my favorite knives, and now that I've customized it, this one is probably going to be my go-to EDC knife for a long time. I'm really happy with this knife. Way more than I thought I could be. Bronze Suru or bronze Biblio? That's a good question. If you're talking specifically in the bronze versions, I would go with the Suru. I like the bronzed version of the Suru better. But if you're talking about the Biblio, I prefer the natural micarta or the OD green micarta. I would just go micarta with the Biblio, bronze titanium with the Suru. Chick-fil-A or Five Guys? Five Guys. That's not even a question. But the real question is Five Guys or Cookout? Ooh, I don't know. That's a tough one. Kanzi EDC says, join the Norseman Master Race. Someday I will have a Norseman. The Green Bean said, what happened to your bug out? So I customized my bug out by putting the Bashy scales on there, anodizing those scales, and one of the Omega springs broke. So I have a video for you guys. If you have a Benchmade knife with Omega springs, I have a video. I don't know when I'm gonna make it, but there is something I want to talk to you guys about with the Omega springs. So if you're interested in that, just let me know. But I'm gonna call it right there. Thank you guys for watching. I do really, truly appreciate all of you. If you want to support what I'm doing, be sure to go to patreon.com and pledge there. That helps support everything just most directly. You can also use the links down below to support by purchasing things. Those are our affiliate links. So if you purchase anything, I get a little bit of a kickback. You can also go to Carry Commission and buy directly from me. But yeah, just join the Discord and chat it up with us. It's a lot of fun. So if you haven't, I highly encourage you to do so. I mean it when I say that I'm going to bring the show back weekly, and I'm truly excited to show you what I've got in store. Maybe even turning it into a live show. We'll see. But with that said, if you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, be sure to hit that thumbs up button down below and subscribe to see more stuff like this in the future, and hit that notification bell so you're notified when I upload new videos. If you want to support what I'm doing, already told you, you can go to Patreon, Carry Commission, or you can just purchase using the links down below. Be sure to follow us. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Damn EDC. You can find me, Taylor Martin, on Twitter and Instagram at CasperTech. And until next time, carry on. All right, I gotta hurry.